Hey everybody in YouTube land, welcome back to my vlog series. This is a space that I use to talk about things that are going on in my life personally, especially as in regards to my OCPD, and to talk about things that are going on with the channel as well, especially as regards to comments that you guys leave and the status of upcoming videos. So let's start off by talking about what's been going on with the channel. There's been a little bit of a lull in the release schedule, and I'd like to clue you guys into what's going on with that. So let's start off with the fact that I've actually been producing a lot of content, even though you guys haven't seen any of it. And so I'll take you through some of the things that I've been doing and why you're not privy to them yet. The first was about a month ago. I actually produced my longest video to date. Not bragging, it's probably not a good thing, but it was to do with how OCPD is illustrated in film and television. So I had a bunch of really good examples. Some of them were OCD, some of them were OCPD, some of them were a mix of the two, and I kind of break it down. So it's a really nice illustration for those that don't have OCPD or for those that are unfamiliar with OCPD. And what I had done is used a bunch of clips from television and movies, and it got flagged for a bunch of copyright claims. I was sort of half expecting it, but I didn't realize how difficult it would be to get through those. So I did have 5 claims against the video, and I have beat 3 of them, and so I'm down to 2. And so I know the video is going to come out, and at the latest it should be, I believe, September 12th. It might be sooner than that if they clear, but they have 30 days, and so if they take the full 30 days to clear me, then sometime in September that video will come out. But the long story short is I did produce this video, and it took quite a lot of time to put this video together, and it never came out, and it will eventually, and you will get to see that. Then we have a video that I did that was way off topic, and I thought to kind of get over some of my fears of producing these videos, I would do something completely different. So my ex-girlfriend was visiting me from Thailand, and so she brought a bunch of food with her from Thailand for me to try, and I thought, why not do it on video? It was all stuff I'd never had before. It was a lot of weird things. So I put that video together, and I didn't know if I was going to release it or not. I didn't know if it had entertainment value, but I experienced technical difficulties before I was finished filming it, and she left the country. She was visiting me, and so I have to reshoot the end of that video, and so I have most of that done. And again, that is another video that may or may not come out. Even if it has no entertainment value, I feel like it might be a good exercise in accomplishing getting over some sort of a fear I have, just to put that out anyway, even if nobody watches it. That is a large part of what this channel is to help me work through some of the issues I have with my anxiety, my depression, and my OCPD. That video exists, aside from a couple of minutes I need to tack on to the end. That might come out, and so maybe within the next week or so you'll see that. Now, I actually spent quite a lot of time filming 5 videos for you guys. I knew there'd been a lull, so I really wanted to push to get a lot of content ready to release. So I filmed 5 brand new videos for you guys and ran into a really unexpected technical difficulty that I am fully responsible for, although it's partly due to one of my commenters, thanks Brent, leaving me a comment letting me know that I was using this microphone incorrectly. And I was completely happy with the audio quality I was getting, and none of you guys have said anything about the audio quality. But because I'm a perfectionist, because I have that mentality that you guys are looking at me, seeing me use the microphone wrong, I look like an idiot, gotta fix it. So I adjusted the position of the microphone, and because of how old my laptop is, and because of the issues I have with it shutting down while I'm filming, I didn't thoroughly test it. And so I shot 5 videos. It was a full day of work, and the audio was no good on any of the videos. So basically, I was experiencing clipping, which means that the audio was completely distorted and there was no way to fix it. And I spent another full day trying to see if I could fix the audio. So I lost 2 days, and so there's a bunch of content that I did produce and you guys won't see. Now, I'm still going to reshoot those 5 videos. This is actually one of the videos that I shot, one of my vlog series. And so hopefully over the next couple of days, I'm able to reshoot all of those videos and have a lot more content than I have had over the past month for you guys. And a second ago, I mentioned that my ex-girlfriend was visiting me from Thailand, and so she was here for a while. That also crept into my schedule a little bit, although while she was here, I did a lot more writing than I even usually do. So I do have a lot of material for the channel, which I'm excited about, but that was also a little bit of why there was some absence on my part. Okay, so to continue with what's going on with the channel, I do have a video in the works that I'm writing now about anxiety, and I'll go into my experiences a little bit with it, but it's gonna be more focused on living with anxiety and treatments for anxiety and what the experience of having a panic attack is like. And so I'm working on writing that. I have a friend that's requested I do a video on borderline personality disorder. Now, there's a lot of comorbidity with borderline personality disorder and OCPD. And on top of that, I really do want to branch out and make this channel in the broader sense more about mental illness in general. So I'm looking forward to working on that. And I have a trip planned to Panama in a month, and I'm hoping that I can actually meet with her and talk with her a little bit about it at that point. And so the video should come out around that time. In addition, I have somebody from one of the online groups that would like to do a collaboration with me, wants to talk about their experience with OCPD. So we're going to be doing a Skype session, recording that, and I'll be releasing that as well. So there's a lot of really cool things in the works right now for the channel. And speaking of the channel, there's a couple other things I want to mention. One is that the channel is growing very, very slowly, but in my eyes, it's incredible the amount of response I've received. So as of the release of this video, I'm at about 275 subscribers and around 11,000 channel views, which is probably a lot more than I anticipated having this soon into this project. So I personally, even though it is a slow growth, I'm really, really excited about what's going on with the channel, and I can't thank you guys enough for watching the videos and supporting me, hitting that like button, hitting the subscribe button, leaving me comments, letting me know what you guys would like to hear about. So I really, really appreciate that. And I'll do probably an update video at whatever the next milestone is to really go into how positive the reinforcement has been from doing this channel. Fudge. So there was another one of my famous glitches. Because of technical difficulties, I almost lost everything I just filmed, and because this vlog is off the top of my head, I'm not exactly sure where I left off. What I'm going to talk about really quickly before moving on to the personal stuff with me is my company that I'm involved with called Raw Signal Productions, and if you ever link to or click on the link to the transcript that is always in the description, you'll find my blog, which is hosted on Raw Signal Productions. Now that is a company that I'm only mentioning because it also keeps me busy and ties into this channel as well. So I'm not encouraging you guys to go check that out because really it's something completely different than what I'm offering on this channel, but it is part of what I do and it is part of what takes up my time. And also mentioning the blog, I am at some point in the near future going to start journaling on there because I've had requests for that. And by journaling, what I mean is basically keeping an online diary, especially in regards to my not so good days, because I don't really get a chance to get on video and talk about those as much. But it should be a little bit easier for me to write down my thoughts and feelings. So it's also part of the process of trying out different methods for working on my depression and my anxiety. So that company keeps me a bit busy, and also if you follow the link, you will get a little bit more information on this channel and the transcripts to the shows. So I think that kind of catches us up with what's going on the channel thus far. So now I'd like to dig a little bit more into the personal. The channel is intended as a way for me to reach out to you guys and see if there's any way I can support the community of people that are suffering with obsessive compulsive personality disorder or those that know somebody with the disorder. But this is also a way for me to open up about what it's like living with the disorder. And I don't know that I've done a stellar job thus far with that. I've told you guys a lot of stories. I've really been very, very honest about my living with OCPD, but I don't talk a lot about what's going on right now and exactly how it's impacting me and exactly what's going on with my life. It's difficult to do on camera. It's difficult to open up, but I also still have this crappy fear of being on camera. And so discussing these things doesn't feel very natural. But I want to make an attempt to maybe push a little bit further on this video, hopefully not making it too long. The first thing that I'll talk about in regards to the personal is that I did have my ex-girlfriend visiting me from Thailand. I've mentioned in other videos. Right now, I'm currently in Colombia. Next month, I'll be in Panama for a little bit, and then I bounce around here and there. But I'll be in the U.S. in November. But the point being is that that impacted me, and that impacted my ability to want to be on camera. It was a really, really enjoyable visit, but that is still a fresh wound in a lot of respects. So I have no idea, how far down the road it'll be until I see her again. But we had a really, really, really nice time together, and it feels really weird talking about personal things on camera, like I said, but she's gone, and I'm processing that. And I'm doing all right, I guess, with that specific thing. But it's definitely a challenge, and then that's part of what I'm going through right now. But aside from that, the living with OCPD causes a lot of problems, and those problems tend to lead to things like depression and anxiety. I've absolutely talked about those. Now, my anxiety for me is much worse than the depression. I don't mean on a scale, but I mean dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. Depression has been with me most of my life, and I'm almost comfortable with it. But the anxiety is only within the last 4, 5, 6 years, and it's a whole other beast entirely, and it's not very fun. And it keeps me from doing a lot of things that I need to do and a lot of things that I want to do. And so I have a lot of other projects that I'm working on right now because I do have to create income for myself. And there's days where it's very, very, very difficult to function, and they kind of compound on top of each other. The anxiety gets worse, and then I can't function, and then the depression gets worse, and I can't function because of that. And so where I'm at right now is I feel pretty meh. Like the depression is kind of steady, and I'm dealing with it fairly okay. The anxiety is not so great at the moment. And again, if you watch any of my other videos, we talk about anxiety being a very difficult thing to put into words, but I've not been as productive as I'd like to be, especially as in regards to the videos, because I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I filmed 5 videos. I felt great about doing that. It was really, really difficult in the moment, but I felt so good that I got those accomplished. And then, of course, they were no good, and I came crashing down. And one of the things that I really, really, really want to do, and I have not been able to do yet, is to make a video on the fly when I'm at a really, really low point. It was 2 or 3 days ago. I was really, really bad. I was in bed. I couldn't get out of bed. And the whole time, all I kept thinking is, get out and make a video right now, because it's really, really important that people see this side of OCPD. Yes, specifically it was depression, but it's a direct result of just feeling like you have the world on your shoulders all the time, just carrying this big weight around with you. So that is something I will do. I have no idea when I'm going to do it, because it's in the moment. It's so difficult to want to be on camera. But that's something I experienced the other day. So I experienced a really, really, really low point, and it kept me down and out for about a day and a half. And this is something I said I wanted to talk about personal. So this is a weird personal thing. I don't know how many other people out there with OCPD, or maybe not even that, just depression or anxiety, that this happens to. But when things get really bad for me, I don't like to leave the house. I don't like to be around people, even casually. So what happens is, if I get really bad, I don't want to be around people, I don't go out and I don't buy the food that I need. And over the last few months, and I knew this prior to this, but over the last few months, I've been experimenting with diet and exercise. And diet has such a huge impact, as well as exercise too, but over your mental state. And so I'll let myself run out of food. I'll have no energy, no motivation, and no desire to go out and replace the food that I need. especially with healthy food. And so I can go a couple of days without eating, and then that in turn makes the depression almost unbearable. That's when you start having really scary thoughts. And it's really hard to climb back out of that hole that I personally put myself into. So that's a little bit of personal information that I've not shared before. I'm not going to throw everything at you guys in this one video, but I do want to try and do that in these vlogs, which is a bit of a bummer because I know that these vlogs don't get the same numbers of views as do my other videos, and I could probably fix that just by taking the word vlog out of the title. But hopefully over time, you guys that are watching these videos come to understand that these vlogs are not frivolous. They're not me talking about nonsense. I am going to just keep talking about OCPD, but really focus on the personal. And so there's a couple of stories about how things have been going for me. And as far as diet and exercise, I got out of the house. I went grocery shopping today, hence why I'm able to be filming right now. And that should get me back on track with the exercise. I experience a couple of health problems, and one of those is related to my breathing, and I find it very, very difficult to exercise. And I'm trying to get in front of doctors to find out what this is because it's really impeding my progress. I know that the more I exercise, the better I feel. So I'm working on that. The diet has been going pretty well. I fell off of it a little bit, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I will get back to exercising again. I think I'm doing too many hand gestures right now. But the last thing I'll talk about is the therapy angle, the therapy side of things. I do have an appointment with my psychiatrist in about a week's time, and it's been a while since I've seen him. And the medications I was on were, I don't know if they would have worked, but the side effects were too intense, especially while I was going to be having company visiting me. And I didn't want to be going through that. I was dark times, the last round of medications that didn't work. So I do have a couple of things that I will be trying that I hadn't started yet, and I will be seeing my psychiatrist. And there'll obviously be a follow-up video once that's done, because again, the point of this channel is so that you guys can see what works for me, and maybe those things will work for you guys. This is a much longer video than I intended, as always, so I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys are all doing well and staying healthy, and I'll see you on the next vlog.